Good morning. Behold the light, the revealing light, the light that is within us. We are told we are the light of the world. Yeshua, Unity's way shower, or Jesus as he's known, he demonstrated that by consistently purifying over and over and over, he became that light, just as our journey is to become this light. And so as we honor the light that we are, we radiate more and more and more of that light into the world, such that others begin to see their own reflected light from the light that we shine. Let us open in prayer. So I invite you to take a deep breath in this morning, a deep breath in of the light, those particles of energy emanating from space itself, from our source, that which gives us light and nourishment. And we take this breath of stillness and peace into our heart. And on our out breath, we release everything that is not in service to this Sunday service. We are focused this morning on the power of power, on the light of power. And as we open to the knowing that we too are that power, that it is our inherent right, we do not need to do anything but be connected to our own inner guidance, to our own heartstring, to the light of our own soul. And as we shine that purified light, we open to the one mind, that one mind that each of us is connected to, that one mind that governs us, that opens our eyes, that opens our ears to hear what needs to be said, that guides our tongue so that our words reflect only the purity of our hearts. And so as we open this morning to this beautiful service, to the words of our speaker, to the heart-opening welcome of our new members, we allow ourselves to relax. We allow ourselves to be present for this moment. For this moment will never come again. This is a unique moment with a unique gathering of each and every one of you here present now. And so take a moment and breathe in to the collection of people who are joining together in earnest upliftment. And we say thank you for this moment, and so be it. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Linda. Linda McCabe, our prayer partner this week. That was so beautiful. What a lovingly crystal energy to start our morning. Good morning, bienvenue. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa's online Sunday service. My name is Brenda Mason, and it's my pleasure to facilitate this online service this morning. It's a kind of what November doesn't know what it wants to be today. We've had mixed precipitation. It's making up its mind. But in the meantime, I want to take this opportunity to recognize the Algonquin Nation, on whose traditional unceded territory we gather to share this online service. We gratefully acknowledge them as past, present, and future stewards of this land. Miigwech. Now, could there be any better icing on today's cake than our special guest speaker this morning, our beloved Reverend Dr. Martha Creek. Martha has been a friend and mentor and spiritual guide and shining light, a love light really, to our community for many years. And anytime Martha has the opportunity to be here with us, it's a spectacular day. So Martha, good morning. It's a spectacular day.
Brenda, it's wonderful to see you again, all of you again. It's my absolute privilege to be here. As a reminder, my calling in life is to serve those who serve. So it is my absolute privilege to be of any kind of service to you today. As we know, and as I reflected on this in the preparation of this, I feel like the service is complete here. Do you have a sense of it? I mean, these beautiful powers of prayers and of affirmation and daily word and the activation of this and a ritual here to claim what is our own divinity. So just think about then in the nature of power, where you lose power that is yours innately and inherently, not from an external source, not from a person, not from a place, not from a job, not from a profession, not from a relationship, not from being liked, not from being included in their party, not from getting the invitation. A different power, a different place of power. And what it's like in power. What it's like referencing that internal power. And also the consequence of outer referencing. The consequence of externally referencing, of seeking from another. And any of that could be delicious for a minute, and then it won't last. Momentary at best. And then the living with our mind and heart and actions in both worlds. The allure, the temptation to seek outer. The allure, the temptation to get dependent on a thing or on a situation or on a person. All the while, it's dissolving and becoming at the same time. Dissolving and becoming. And if we're delighted in the becoming and resisting in the dissolving, where will it leave us as power? Where does it leave you when you resist the dissolving? When you resist the change, the loss, the what is, and get too attached to becoming. And for me, I related to it like trying to live in spring all the time. Do you love the spring? Those blooms, those blossoms, those buds, those colors. It's like, woo, winter. Bye-bye, winter. It's like, well, without the winter, no blooming, no budding, no beautiful colors. So let's see if we can grow ourselves up a little bit in this. So this is a reading from Deepak Chopra. I got to work with him again this year, and he was one of my earliest teachers, so I give thanks. So you might stop and reflect on what teacher would you thank as you activate new power today. The power of gratitude, the causative, deliberate use of gratitude. So what teacher would you give thanks for today? That the book who invited you to the spiritual center, the reading, the thing that shifted you. So here's this one. Peel away all the layers of an onion, and at the center, you will find emptiness. Peel away all the layers of a human being, and at the center, you will find the seed of God. Peel away all the layers and find the center of power, the center of God. Now, who here likes the peeling away? Who here wakes up every morning and goes, oh, I just can't wait to peel away today. Oh, I just can't wait to see what's going to challenge me. So no sane person is going to be delighted in our challenges. And are we going to have them? You betcha. Do you have them? You betcha. Have you navigated them? You sure have. Even shocking to yourselves, even shocking to myself at times that I was able to get through, move through, and process things that felt pretty heavy. great loss. So knowing there's nothing permanent in an ever-changing world, that's not just a platitude, that's not just a saying. Like, this is true as anything can be. There's nothing permanent here. And then how do we find then where our power is? How do we find what is actually stable? What is actually not threatened? What is actually not changing? What in you is true and real? And then surrendering to and then practicing ourselves out of some of these old ways of being, some of these old habits. And the word that I pulled that seems like could be the inverse to power is surrender. Who here wants to surrender? And notice that when you don't surrender, what the consequences of that are. So therefore, the potential and the power of surrender lies within your hands in a conscious, deliberate choice to say, I'm going to change what I can, period. And I must surrender to and accept what I cannot change, and get wiser and wiser and wiser day by day and minute to minute and situation to situation to what that is and the difference of that. That means then to open up to this and to stop spiritually bypassing things that we don't like, feelings, emotions. Saying, for example, everybody should be kind. It would be no different than saying you should only inhale. Don't do any exhaling. So there'll be times of kindness and times of unkindness. And then kindness is the direction to go in, because when we are unkind, we're out of power. So then when unkindness arises, no self-hate, no judgment, no blame, which takes us further out of power, but to say, I accept that I'm unkind at times. I include that there's times of unkindness in my thoughts and in my actions. I also accept that there's going to be times of unkindness in somebody else's tone, in somebody else's look when they roll their eyes, or when they don't include, or when they give me the look. So I accept also that there's going to be unkindness in my experience. And I can have more power in relation to that unkindness if I'm not in delusion and denial and false beliefs that there shouldn't be any. There is. Since the recorded history, since the beginning of creation, and there is now, and there will be until there isn't. And my saying somebody else should be kind, well, is not kind to put that off on somebody else, versus it's mine to live out, to be the change I want to see in the world. Not just as a platitude or a clever quote to throw out. And surrender is not giving up in despair. It's simply allowing, if you take nothing away from today but this, allowing a greater reality that is directing our lives to direct our lives. It is, it will. So my relationship to that holds all the power in the universe. How I relate to this greater reality that's directing things. And it's like, then it's this shift out of who needs God when you've got Martha to direct things. Who needs God when we've got you to direct things, to say how things ought to be, should be, could be, would be, need to be, better be. Versus no, to grow myself up and to evolve myself through my spiritual disciplines and practice to say there is a greater reality that is directing life. And to what degree I can affect that I co-create and can co-create, that I hold power to do that. And I ultimately hold power to accept the greater reality that is directing life. And to resist it usurps my own innate inherent power. Resistance disempowers. So resistance is the opposite of power. Pushing back, shaking our heads like the 2-year-olds. No. Denying, disengaging, pretending. So it is the opposite of surrender, resistance. Resistance is the opposite of power. And it is refusing to accept the present experience. You don't have to love it. You don't have to like it. And this is it. And it will show up in many forms: tension, frustration, angst, worry, doubt, apathy. And the most of it is unconscious, which is the reason to stay highly aware, highly practiced, praying, meditating, cognitive behavioral therapies to look at these unconscious beliefs, these core beliefs, so they don't run the show. And then instead of tightening up or turning away or feeling that we don't matter, we don't belong, there's something wrong with us, that we have no power, that we have no value, that we have no presence, to bring that presence to each and every situation, and to bring acceptance to every situation that cannot be changed. And then acceptance is power, and acceptance is magic. And don't believe me till you apply this for yourself, because until then it's just Martha Creek, blah, blah, blah. And every leader in history has exemplified this. So pick any leader that you respect that was powerful, to exercise power, and they knew it could not be done through resistance. So let's shake our foundations loose today, shall we? The old way, the old painful way, and to pause and to go within us to a still point where eternity exists, where power exists, and where power always is, always has been, and always will be. Let's take a big deep breath and meditate on something you've heard or felt today in the presentation. That we move today from a notion of power. We shift to power. And get a sense in your own body of that still point of power that resides within you. And get a sense, even in the temptations and the trials, and in any emotion, the fright, the fear, that it's all welcome. Resisting nothing. Open to what is. And take a big, deep breath into the certainty and the power of realizing that God is in everything. And that we relate now by holding this as the truth, as reality, and peeling away and shedding purposefully, purifying ourselves, our emotions, purifying our mind, renewing our mind to live in this reality. Who would you be as power? Who would you be as presence? Unshakable. Open. Spacious. The seed of God. Another deep breath, and then allow the lyrics of this song to keep you in meditation. And imagine as you hear the lyrics of "Let life do you," what that would actually be like.
So you speak to me of sadness and the coming of the winter. Fear that is within you now, it seems to never end. The dreams that have escaped you, the hope that you've forgotten. You tell me that you need me now, you wanna be my friend, and you wonder where we're going. Where's a rhyme and a reason? It's you cannot accept. It's here we must begin to seek the wisdom of the children, and the graceful way of flowers in the way. For the children and the flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Their laughter and their loveliness would clear a cloudy day, like the music of the mountains to the colors of the rainbow. They're a promise of the future and lesson for today. Though the city starts to crumble and the towers fall around us, the sun is slowly fading and it's colder than the sea. It is written from the mountains to the deserts, they will lead us by the hand and by the heart. They will comfort you and me in their innocence and trusting. They will teach us to be free. For the children and the flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Their laughter and their loveliness will clear a cloudy day. And the song that I have Come and stand beside us, we will find a better way.
Thank you, Spencer. What a beautiful end to Martha's presentation. And Martha, thank you so much for your talk. I was thinking that the power in the presence, it's one of those phrases that, especially as Unity people, we toss that around. You know, we don't enough stop and look at it and question. What does that really mean? And you did that for us today, and I'm grateful that you did it, because we all now have a clearer understanding of the two, and how they combine and how they differ and what they each mean. So we, as always, love you, and we're grateful to you for being here today. Thank you so much. All right. As I said at the beginning of the service, now more than ever, our little light has to shine. So let us never lose sight of that. And let's affirm together, you are the peace, the love, and the light of this world. Let your light shine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, I take this light around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Take this light around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Take this light around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Every day, I'm gonna let my little light shine.
Yes, I am. Are you? Thank you, Martha. Again, thank you. You've got to know how much we love you in this community. We wish we could just keep you in a bottle. Any of you who would like to go deeper with Martha, her mission is to serve those who serve, and she does it with grace and beauty. MarthaCreek.com is the good starting point to find out all of the rich resources that Martha has available. She's one of the, you're right up there, Martha, in my books. You're a wise woman, and I'm really grateful to know you. And on behalf of the community, I express my appreciation to you for being here today. Spencer?
MarthaCreek.com if I can support you. Blessings.